your readers, your viewers, your listeners are always dialed in on these kinds of matters and situations. What are some of the key topics around this FTX collapse that they are looking for more information on? What are they searching on? What are they searching for? Where is the heat right now?
Yeah, good to be with you, Dom. And I think the FTX collapse is going to make for some very interesting Thanksgiving table conversations this year, very different this year than obviously over the past couple of years. We're always fascinated to see what they're looking for, and they're trying to learn. They're looking for the obvious, which is what is the FTX exchange, but they're also asking questions about cold storage. You know, everybody was wondering, should you have your Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency in cold storage or with an exchange? Cold storage was definitely the way to go if you were an FTX account holder, but they're also looking for historical comparisons, Don. They're asking about the Enron collapse. Are there similarities here? They're asking about the Lehman Brothers collapse. So very fascinating to see those that are not that deeply invested in cryptocurrency wondering if this is a very similar scenario to what played out in 2008 and in 2002 and 3.
So, Caleb, I mean, can you give us some context about the level of interest, the intensity of these searches, the numbers around it? Are we seeing more or less because of FTX than we saw, say, at the height of Bitcoin prices when they were pushing $60+ dollars per token?
Yeah, well, I would tell you that about half of the top 10 searches on Investopedia lately have been around FTX, have been around cryptocurrency. Nothing compared to when Bitcoin was 64,000 and everybody had FOMO. But now that their collapse is underway with FTX and potentially some other crypto exchanges, and we've seen some currencies really plummet in value, people are definitely searching around, just not at that volume, because now they're wondering how far down can this go. They're looking at all kinds of things about, what happens if, in terms of arbitrage, what happens if you want to sell your coins now at a loss. People are asking a lot of questions, especially as tax season approaches too, if they're looking at losses in their cryptocurrency.
So if that's the case, is there any indication, have you seen some, speaking of historical comparisons, you mentioned searches for things like Lehman Brothers and Enron. Is there any kind of at least historical precedent that you've seen for assets that have gone up very much in price for a short amount of time that have collapsed? Is there any indication of where you could think a bottom might be happening short term? I'm not asking you, Caleb, to call a price on Bitcoin or Ether. I'm just wondering whether or not there's significant downside left or if there's a bounce sometime soon.
Yeah, you're asking the right question, and the question circles around trust, because the collapse of an exchange like FTX and potentially some others is making people ask themselves, do I even trust the cryptocurrency market? Do I even trust this new quote-unquote asset class? So if you look at the meme stocks, there was a lot of interest there and a lot of people asking on the way up and on the way down what this looks like and what could potentially play out here. But there's still a lot of contagion left in this story, and you guys have done some great reporting at CNBC. The Wall Street Journal, of course, is all over this as well. So everyone's wondering, who's still exposed? How much money is at risk here? If I had money in the exchange, will I ever get it back? What happens in a bankruptcy proceeding around cryptocurrencies? People are really curious about that because we haven't seen anything like this of this magnitude yet. And I think a lot of our readers and a lot of your viewers think that this is not even close to being over, Dom.